So some guy put lubricant in my rectum, in my anus, and then started inserting objects. Insert objects and pull it out. I was screaming so hard, I couldn't even, there was no tears coming out because of how painful it was. And one of them said, put his hand in his mouth, so they put my hand in my mouth, and they would tell me, stop screaming, the kids are sleeping. At that session is where they said they're going to rape Agatha. That guy called my phone and said he's going to rape Agatha.
In May 2025, a chilling incident shook East Africa. Kenyan activist Boniface Mwangi, a fearless voice against corruption, and Ugandan activist Agather Atuhaire faced unimaginable horrors in Tanzania. Their crime, standing in solidarity with the opposition leader Tundu Lissu. This is the story of their detention, torture, and the fight for justice that is gripping Kenya and beyond.
Then a man came and was putting his fingers in my anus and then saying that, say you're feeling nice, say you're feeling good, say Asante Samia. Then they would do that, and then they would do that. Me, these guys are gonna hurt you, and they're gonna hurt you so bad. Give them your phone. I said, I don't have my phone. And my fear was because we had gone to Uganda, Tanzania rather, with many other activists. And if I lose my phone, or if they get my phone, they get hold of everyone that I was talking to in the country. So I could not give it my phone or my laptop. So I went I went to the bathroom, came back, and we were told to wait outside.
On May 19, 2025, Boniface Mwangi, a renowned Kenyan photojournalist and activist, traveled to Dar es Salaam with a group of East African activists. Their mission, to support Tundu Lissu, Tanzanian opposition leader charged with treason for demanding electoral reforms ahead of the October 2025 elections. But what began as an act of solidarity turned into a nightmare.
And a few minutes later, some guys came, 6 or 7 of them, very mean-looking people with one lady. It was at, Dar es Salaam is very hot, but they were all wearing half jackets. And the smelling of alcohol. They looked so evil. So when we went to the central police station, there was a staircase on this side, so we came in through this staircase, but where we were, there was another private staircase, so they took us out with. They took us downstairs to the car, and we were blindfolded and handcuffed on the back. And it was a white Land Cruiser. At the back, there were like a lot of sticks and a lot of fake number, like a number of number plates in that car. The guy across me had an AK-47. They were all in civilian clothes. So Agather sat. It was a Land Cruiser. Agather sat this seat. I was this other side, in a face me position. And then they drove off.
On May 19th, Mwangi and Atuhaire were arrested at the Serena Hotel in Dar es Salaam. Tanzanian authorities accused Mwangi of providing false information to enter the country. They were held at the central police station, but soon they vanished. For 3 days their whereabouts were unknown, sparking outrage across Kenya and Uganda.
It's been very agonizing for my family. It's been very difficult because Boni fights for people. Yes. If this was anybody, Boni would have been here. Yes. And he takes the lead in fighting for people's rights. So for his rights to be violated in this way, it is completely unfair.
Activists like Hussein Khalid and Mwangi's wife, Njeri, demanded answers, while Kenya's government accused Tanzania of denying consular access, violating international law.
If anything happens to Boniface Mwangi, we, his friends, the family, and Kenyans in general, will hold you, Mudavadi, personally responsible.
We will, through diplomatic channels, establish more details, because normally there are protocols that should be followed if certain matters were to be handled, maybe in terms of whether they were going to observe court proceedings and so forth. So there are protocols, and that is a matter that now we will pursue.
On June 2nd, 2025, Mwangi broke his silence at a press briefing in Nairobi County. His account was gut-wrenching. He described being stripped naked, flogged, and tied upside down by 4 captors. He said, and I quote, "They beat my feet until I screamed and stuffed underwear in my mouth to silence me."
Then they took us to a building. To this place where they went to torture us. When you go there, they told me to get off the car. I came out, and then they banged the door on my face. I had a mark here. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know what they were waiting for. I think they were putting some things ready. They got me out. I was still handcuffed and blindfolded, and they told me to strip naked. And they stripped naked. When I stripped naked, they removed my handcuffs, and then I was grabbed by about 4 men, and they lifted me up so fast. Before they lifted me, actually, they put some gloves on my hands. Then they lifted me up. They lifted me up and tied me upside down. There's a photo I saw online about what they did to us. It's in my bag. You can distribute when I'm done talking. So we were put on an upside position where my legs were up like this. My body's up. I'm stuck naked. And then they started beating my feet. So they would beat me and massage my feet. Beat me and massage my feet. I was screaming so hard, I couldn't even, there was no tears coming out because of how painful it was.
The assault escalated when his captors used objects to violate him, while filming and playing gospel music to drown out his cries. They threatened to release the footage if he spoke out.
And one of them said, put his hand in his mouth, so they put my hand in my mouth. Then they would tell me, stop screaming, the kids are sleeping. And then to drown my screams, they opened the car because I could hear them, they were playing gospel music in the background. They beat me. Then they removed the underwear from my mouth and they started questioning me.
Agather Atuhaire, a Ugandan human rights lawyer, faced similar brutality. She was beaten for refusing to undress, then forcibly stripped and violated. She said, and I quote, "I expected better from Tanzania," comparing it to Uganda's authoritarian regime. Both activists were tortured in front of their lawyers, who were later denied access. Atuhaire's scream echoed alongside Mwangi's, a haunting reminder of the cost of activism.
And I get there, and the first order is take off your clothes. Before you do anything, there's one who hits me with something on the back, and there's one who violently takes off all my clothes. They take off all my clothes, they throw me down, they handcuff me. You will see some of they handcuff me, but they tried to put a sweater before the handcuffs. So I think the injuries here would have been worse, but there's this, then there is this.
After 3 days of incommunicado detention, Mwangi and Atuhaire were deported. Mwangi was dumped at the Horohoro border in Kwale, Kenya, unable to walk due to his injuries. Atuhaire was left at the Mutukula border with Uganda. Both were rushed to hospitals for medical care. Activists in Mombasa led by Muhuri assisted Mwangi, whose spirit remained unbroken despite his physical pain.
And then they told me to turn around, I'm naked. So all this time they're telling me they're recording everything they're doing to us, or rather they're doing to me. So they're recording this, they're teaching me a lesson. So I'm stuck naked, they turn me around, say your name, your wife's name, your kid's name, where do you live, where do they go to school. I'm naked. And they removed the blindfold and said, now, so when I'm answering these questions, when I turn around, when I'm answering these questions, they are just threatening me. So like when they're abusing me, they're saying I should feel good and say thank their president for doing that to me. Like, sema asante sana, asante sana. So they told me, we have recorded these videos so that if you go back to your country and you say what we did to you, we shall put them online and shame you, and your kids will see this, your family will see this, everyone will see this.
Tanzania's actions reflect a broader crackdown on dissent as the country nears its 2025 elections. President Samia Suluhu Hassan warned against foreign interference, while Tanzanian members of parliament labeled Kenyan critics as mentally unstable. Other activists, including Martha Karua and Willy Mutunga, were deported before they could attend Lissu's trial, signaling a chilling message to regional activists.
Through diplomatic channels. But most important as well is that we have very cordial relations with Tanzania.
We demand that the people who subjected them to this torture are immediately held accountable, including those directing these crimes.
Tuseme hatutakubali udhalimu kukita mizizi katika maeneo ya Afrika Mashariki.
Despite the trauma, Mwangi remains defiant, stating, and I quote, "Dictators are united, and only our unity can democratize our countries." He urged activists not to be deterred, emphasizing East African solidarity. His words resonates with Kenyans who have taken to the streets and social media, demanding accountability from both Tanzania and their own government.
The government sided with Suluhu's government and said we're interfering with Tanzanian politics. We were not interfering in Tanzanian politics. We went there as visitors, and we did not hide the reasons for our visit. I've been to Tanzania before to visit another political prisoner, Freeman Mbowe, who was Chadema's leader before Tundu Lissu. I was in Uganda when Bobi Wine was under house arrest. I went to Uganda when Salaam was in jail, visited her in jail. I've done that in many other African countries because I'm an African. And I belong to this continent, and Africa is home. So that's why we're here. So we're here to share our story and to say that our bodies might be broken, but our spirits are strong.
Boniface Mwangi and Agather Atuhaire's ordeal exposes the risk activists face in East Africa. Their courage in speaking out despite threats inspires Kenyans and beyond to fight for justice and democratic freedoms. As tensions rise, their story is a call to action. Will East Africa unite for change? Share your thoughts in the comment section. For Maisha TV, I'm William Juma.